record. All right. Hello, everyone. How are you? As I've announced, this is beautiful Amber. This is my first interview on my Create Your Life by Design interview series. And I'm like, it's making hearts. How cute. I'm so excited and nervous. And I'm like grateful that you are all here experiencing this with me. Amber is amazing. Our energy is like fire. I always love connecting with her. She is a beautiful mom who is world schooling her daughter, and we're gonna just hear from her and her experience. So, hi.
Hi.
Um, so to start, I would love to know what you were looking for, kind of where you were at, what you found in this business that like you knew it was aligned, and then how it's changed your life, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Well, that's a lot to begin with. However, I was not looking, and the business attempted to find me probably a decade ago, but I was involved doing other things. Life had a different path for me then. However, it was always somewhere on my radar
I actually love
until
that. It was the same for me. 4 years. It started showing up 4 years before I actually like was like, oh hey.
Oh yeah, this was a long time ago. Yeah, so there's even a story within that story. However, here we are. Life goes on. I've been in holistic
Mhm.
health as a practitioner, one-on-one with a practice that I've traveled the planet with for the past 20 years. So being into futuristic ways and means of healing the body, I've been very much into all of the Asian ancient healing arts of all kinds. So to come across another Japanese medical device was not out of my wheelhouse. However, at the time that it resurfaced, I was going through a pretty heavy time in my life where my mom was on her way out of the
Hmm.
earthly plane. So, of all the times that I could have used probably every excuse under the sun of why I did not need to be exploring anything at that time, it was actually the perfect time because I knew that my life was going to carry forward and I needed what that is in my life as a witness to what happens to the human body when we stop hydrating it. We can't live very
Hmm.
long that way. So that made a pretty massive, like, symbolic impact on me at that time. And then now here we are a year and a half later, uh, obviously on the other side of that current circumstance at that time, which is now really designed a divine path that is so incredible to me that I would have never imagined a million years that I would be where I am today doing what it is that I'm doing. So initially, when I think about like, well, everyone always uses the term, oh, the business, the business. Well, the beauty of it is we invest in our health and the future of our health for ourselves first, and then our family and those that we love. And in addition, we have an infinite legacy, wealth generating business attached to it. There's not many
Hmm.
things out there on the planet, literally, as I'm out here on the planet,
I
above
know
all
the
the
other side
beauty
of the
right
world.
now, the irony, right? The synchronicities. So I knew that in my life, I was holding on to a vision for a very long time that I knew something would show up for me to build the bridge to really quantum leap forward into the life and the lifestyle that I've always dreamed of for myself and also for my daughter, which is how
I
you mentioned
love
world
watching your
school.
guys' adventures. Like, I love it. I envision for Willow and I as we get older watching the two of you. I just love your bond and your relationship and all of the beautiful experiences that you guys have together. It's
Thank you.
amazing to be a part of it.
Yes. And then to get to share it. Well, yeah, you're telling me because we literally closed down where we lived for the last 5.5 years. Like I said, a 20-year ongoing holistic healing business. A lot of people were impacted by this quantum leap, which essentially took us out of the country and moved us to the Dominican Republic, which is one of the places on the planet that I love so dearly. So I can tell you not only how it's changed my life, but the beauty of it is that the way in which we go about our businesses can be uniquely ours. So the way that
Mhm.
I've I feel like I've been guided. I feel like there's something that wanted to be birthed through me, and I knew that it had to be with the water. I am extremely aware, hyper aware of like an infinite amount of ways to heal the human body. And the one thing that will never go out of style, that we will always need, is clean, living, drinking water and water for bathing. And unfortunately, pretty much everywhere in the world has some sort of a crisis with the toxicity and also the single use plastics. So, being in the Dominican Republic, although it's incredible, it's the Caribbean paradise, it is completely covered the beauty with plastic, and there is the local people there that are drinking out of the plastic bottles because they've been conditioned to not drink the water. So there was a piece of my heart that genuinely wanted to expose the traditionally known as the have-nots of the world, and this could be something that would be a luxury item that they would never ever have access to, and that doesn't sit right with me. I don't
Yeah.
believe that humans are disposable. So I held this in my heart as we got 2 one-way tickets and moved to the DR, not knowing exactly all
Love
of
that.
what that looked like. And it's
Hmm.
now into this beautiful alignment and combining passions, if you will, with the woman who runs the World School in the Dominican Republic that my daughter just recently had her first experience in the month of February. And so we're full board, like traveling the planet on a consistent basis, going from school to school to school. And just really, when people are like, Amber, what's World School? It's like, well, what if you wanted to learn about Machu Picchu or the Eiffel Tower or
You
something?
go there and you
Correct.
learn.
You literally
Yeah.
go there. Now there's actually established locations around the world and different pop-up events that make this possible for people to do it partially. Maybe they take their spring break, maybe half of the year people homeschool and then they world school. However, I'm the, I have no gray area. I'm either all
You
in or
just
I'm
you
not in.
dive. Did
So
you have any fear
yeah,
come up for you when you were like, "Oh, I'm selling it all and we're just going"?
no. However, many other humans express their fears because my response to that, I had someone say to me, "Oh my gosh, Amber, are you not afraid?" And I was like, if I were afraid, that'd be the complete antithesis of exactly the mission that we're on, because it's not of my own. I'm being called, guided, shown the path, fully surrendering. And the not knowing is actually where the magic happens. So there were certain feelings that I felt intuitively of what I thought I would like to happen. Like I said, I carried this like idea, this vision, this desire in my heart, but I came in very like, okay, there might be a need that really isn't one. So let me be open to the idea that I may be shown something else. And to say today in this moment here with you how that's now developed looks like my company that I created called Sacred Service International Incorporated was
Mhm.
designed to bring this technology, the living water, drinking and bathing technology, to different pockets of the world where it's clear that there is an extreme need. And I thought to myself, how do I deliver this? Well, it showed itself to me to do this at the school. So I have a line
Yes.
woman who owns
I
the
want to
school.
ask I want to
Yes,
ask one thing. So,
sure.
correct me if I'm wrong because I may have interpreted it. I know we've talked about this. Now, when it comes to health and wellness, I feel like hydration and water is kind of sadly one of the last things that we think about as the root of the problem. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but you went there and there were some health issues and some concerns that people were having, and you were like, look at the water. It's the water. So sadly, like we look at our food, we look at our exercise, which are all like, extremely like important for, combating disease and help healing our body, but we don't ever consider, oh, maybe it's the toxicity in our tap water or the chemicals in our body, bottled water. Now, can you talk a little bit about how, and am I wrong in thinking that there was people that were having health issues and you were like, dude, it's the water? And bringing this
So
water
yes,
to them has
that
helped.
100% showed up actually within the community. This is an interesting point you bring up. So we were there for like well, we lived there for like 3 months, and we just took a little um vacation out and then going back. So that being said, during our time there, there was a moment where in the rural area we were in, which is like most people know Punta Cana. So this was about 6.5 hours north of Punta Cana in a very rural area known as Cabrera. So Cabrera has is had a moment where there was like this little stomach bug going around. Now, mind you, World School calls in different people from all over the world. So there were
Mhm.
several families that came from different countries that are coming to the DR for the first time, experiencing the culture for the first time, experiencing all the things for the first time. So what was interesting is that I always and will forever travel with both of my devices. Actually, I came with 4 pieces, 2 ionizers and 2 shower units, because I always have 2 units spare to loan to people so that they can have a true full
So
body
you
and
have yours for you and
experience.
your daughter, but then you also
Correct.
have an extra set to
Yeah.
loan out. Yeah.
So what was interesting is that everyone at one point, even the owner of the school, even the locals, there was like this little stomach kind of, diarrhea bug type of thing. My daughter and I, we never, we never were impacted by that.
Because you were
Why?
using your K8. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had living molecular hydrogen rich, antioxidant rich living water. Now, I mean, we could get into filtration, all the other things that kind of go along with depending on where you are in the world, and kind of what
Hmm.
are the of what's important. Bottom line is me and mine are good. We made sure
Yeah.
that we were, and I definitely was sharing the water because they take the 5 gallon plastic jugs, and that's kind of how it's delivered around. And whether people know or not, that sits in the sun forever. The plastic's leaching in. There's so many other things. So by the time it actually get into the human body, it's dead. There's nothing that it's
Hmm.
actually providing. There's no life force for it. However, with the ionizer and the medical device that we have, you can convert polluted tap water into living, restructured molecular hydrogen, antioxidant rich alkalized water. And it's one thing to drink it, but what if you're now putting the largest organ of your body and bathing in it? So, what's great about the World School setup is that it has a pool and showers, the building, and so on and so forth. So, I've decided as part of my mission and also part of the way in which I'm uniquely sharing the message of true health, which is behind the magic of Enagic, like that's the mission, true health,
I love that saying. Yeah. The magic of a
physical
magic.
and financial. Yeah. So uh Enagic is paying me generously for me to uniquely share this with the world in the way that I am designed and clearly being guided to do. So I'm setting the building up, we'll say with the K8s, couple ionizers, different shower units, like we're just going to hook it all up. And that will be now accessible to all the local kids, to the
I
families
love
as
that.
a community water refill station. Also, when the different families are flying through, the different people who already live there that are local, because it is a community place of gathering during the in between times where there's not like an adventure they call them going on. So yeah, so I'm like, whoa. So
It's kind of
even
like the home
that,
base, like the home base in between the World School events. Is
what's
that
that?
kind of what it's like a home base in between the different World School events, like the
A
ones
lot
that
of
are
things
happening throughout the year?
years come, the building's used for different things, like it
Okay.
gets
Yeah.
veterinary hospital and volunteer vets come
Oh,
in
wow. That's
to
cool.
help give health care to the street animals and local animals.
Hmm.
And there's so many different things that the woman who's created it, who I've like finally found another hardcore, like all the way out on the farthest edge of comfort in her own realm. And I'm like, yes, I found my person. I found my people, and I'm going to
Love it.
continue to duplicate this model. And so currently, right now, that is like where it's headed for me. But prior to that, it was sharing it with people. Like I have an ongoing practice, right? So a lot of people would think that this would be easy for me to inform people, educate people, and also get them to invest in their own health. And it's not easy because
If it was
it,
easy, everyone would do it.
and everyone needs water. You
I
can't
agree.
deny the fact, and not all water's the same as you and I know. And as I started testing waters and learning about my personal water, my municipal water in the state of Illinois and the city I live in, which there's many websites to type in a zip code and figure that out depending on where people live. It's I cannot unknow what I know now. I'm not going to be ignorant. I don't go in public pools. I'm not going to go into a
I
pool.
can never unhear the fact that your body, just by taking a bath in your bathtub, your body can absorb 1 liter of chlorine. Like I can never unhear that.
And that's just chlorine. What about arsenic and bromine and
Oh
nitrates
my
and all
gosh. Yeah.
and say or
That you
spell?
actually ingest
Yeah.
too.
And it's so crazy because okay, I say this today. However, I didn't know any of this before. I was
I
doing the
didn't
same
either.
doing. Give me that 5 gallon bottle service. Let me go get let me get that Fiji, let me get that smart water, right?
Oh yeah.
All marketing, all marketing. And I can
And the
prove it.
microplastics and the way that the pH is changed in those, isn't
Oh
it
my,
more of like a chemical change? Oh, I had my K8 and my Anespa for almost a year before I heard that about chlorine. I immediately upgraded my business and got another Anespa because my daughter uses both bathrooms in this house, and we now have two Anespas. Like my daughter does not bathe in tap water.
yeah.
Well, we have I guess it's a community well, so my daughter does not bathe in that water. And neither do I. There's an Anespa in both shower and bathtubs in our house now.
Immediately one will feel the difference. And when I think about, I have people say, Amber, which one do you think is more important? If I was going to get one first, and what's interesting
Oh,
is you think immediately the go-to would be the K8 to drink, and because of the 100 different uses of the pH.
hmm.
However, the skin is the largest organ of the body, and so there's a part of me that's
Everything it absorbs.
a bit like, well, if you got to pick one, to start with. So yeah, and it's interesting because once you start getting more educated and more proactive and like really get wise and get hyper aware, it's hard to like just ignore that and let it
You
go.
can't unhear it. You can't unlearn it. You can't unknow what you know.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, I
wholeheartedly.
still have a lot more education to dive into. I've been learning and educating myself to become an entrepreneur and learn how to have an online business. And that's where a lot of my like education hours have gone.
Yeah.
But the water, like I have so much more to learn about it. And I'm far behind where you've educated yourself, but the little bit that I do know is enough to like really motivate and empower me. I can only imagine like, how much more like and drive and like just energy I'll have behind it once I've transitioned from learning how to grow and build my business to educating myself on the science of the water. Like it's gonna catapult.
Well, it is because you are in consumption and absorbing of it, that it's going to fill every single cell of your body and increase the energy
Hmm.
capacity. And it's going to happen automatically. It it just is how it is. It's been a year and a half. Let me tell you, I'll go thirsty if I'm somewhere and I don't have access to the Kangen water. Like it is what it is now.
I had a smart water the other day because we were out and
Yeah.
I have I have like a million really pretty like 40-ounce cups of water. And I always fill them up. And one day we were in a hurry and we left and it was like last week. I drank a smart water and I got the worst headache from it. Like I instantly got a headache. Like it was
Wow.
bad. And I had only had I maybe drank like a third of it and I was just like, oh, I can't. I'm just gonna wait till I get home. Like instant headache.
Yeah.
And I used to drink smart water all the time.
Right.
It's amazing the effects that it has.
Well, and our body will tell us because our body is our best sign. It'll give us the red flags. It'll give us the
Physically and
yeah, yeah,
intuitively.
yes,
Yeah.
100%. We become more in tune, and yeah, the more toxic we are, the more this is kind of more of an extensive process too as well. So at the end of the day, out of all the things I could think of on this earth that to promote and be an advocate of, it it's water. It's never going to go out of style. Every living being, even the earth that we that I'm sitting on,
Yeah,
that I'm floating on
you're floating above.
water. That's with this background. Yeah, so we need it because we are part of
A
nature. Like,
majority. Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Earth is a majority water. We're a majority water. Yeah, it's one of the most important things, I think, as in part of our health, but it's also, from my perception so far, one of the most things, or the mostly overlooked things, if you will. It's it's not the first thing that comes to mind. When people get sick and don't feel good, they think about lack of exercise, weight, which are very, very strongly there, stress, food. And those are all huge. Like when people go on nutrition and health journeys, it's food and exercise. The water consumption is like, it's not ever even looked at, not even just the quantity, but the quality of water that they're putting. I have never incorporated up until, I got my K-8 and really started learning more about enagic. That was never one of the priorities when I was like, all right, I'm going on a health kick. It was never like,
Well,
oh, I need to
think about all the authorities of health. Think about
Mm,
people going to the doctor, the chiropractor, the massage therapist,
yeah.
the personal trainer, which I know you just got yourself on board with that.
Yeah, we just took pictures for
Tell you,
our gym challenge.
tell you to go drink water. And that's as far as it gets. And then they hand you the plastic bottle on the way out the door. They're like, oh, go get it out of the container. However,
Yeah,
isn't it mind blowing that the authorities, the people that are supposed to be the caretakers of the world, the service,
the leaders of health.
correct, are not talking about it? I think that is garbage and it is completely out of alignment. Like, how could you not take it all the way? If you're going to be, practice what you preach, that type of a thing, again, unless you want to play the, oh, I just don't know any better card, which I doubt, it's a
Yeah, there's
huge gaping hole in the delivery of any type of health and healing modality.
yeah,
Crazy.
because the dehydration alone, not just the quality, but the quantity of water that people consume, the level of dehydration, and then the type of molecules in the water that they're consuming that are contributing to dehydration because the lack of the ability to absorb as much of the water.
Well,
It's
and some
amazing.
on the skin, and I manipulate tissues of the body for 20 years in one way, shape, or form, energetically,
Mhm.
physically, all the things. Uh, I can tell the difference. It is
So you're
crazy.
saying if you were to massage a body of someone who was dehydrated opposed to somebody that was like fully hydrated, you could feel the difference in their skin and their bodies?
And oh yeah, muscle tone, tissue, uh, the way I could glide, the different textures, the different feelings of the
That's
different layers.
amazing.
Oh yeah. And it was interesting because I mean, yeah, I can feel all the, we call it in the industry, issues in the tissues. However, when I
Actually, like
really
that's
my mind go deep on the hydration, I thought back to all the bodies I've laid hands on, hundreds of thousands at this point.
yeah.
I'm like, that was it. Like if we go back, dial it back all the way from the beginning, if there was one issue, like, they say the root cause, inflammation is the root cause of everything, this, that, and the other. We hear that. Now, what about dehydration? Like, imagine if chronic,
Hmm.
that one thing, so that one change. So people are like, what do I do? They got like six different things going on to try to manage their health or up level their health game. If there was one change that I would ever ask anyone to consider or encourage them and advise them to do, is it's change your water, which is Anagic's tagline, change your water, change your life.
Your life. Yeah.
Bold statement, but it's so true because when people say, oh, drink water, now, my gut response is, well, what kind of water? Not all water is created equal. Do we
Like,
want to have
not
that
all water is absorbed equally.
correct? Would you like me to get out my pH drops and show you? Would you like me to do a water demo right here? Because I will.
So I will break it down to a T. I am
Yeah.
actually so excited
Yeah.
to go to Japan. Oh my gosh, this summer, go to Japan and actually like be in the presence of this company and everything they do and just like embody it fully and
Uh,
just like be there with it, the creation of it, the home of it, like
so Okinawa is the number one blue zone of the
in the
world
world.
where it has the highest concentration of people who live to be over 100
I was
centurions.
actually talking to a mom at the park.
Centurions.
That's what it is.
Cent-
Centurions. We were trying to come up with the word, and that's the word that we ended
yeah,
up. I was like, I'm
yeah,
pretty sure it's centurions. Yeah, I'm so excited
yeah.
just
It's
to
deep.
be there.
Yeah, it's one thing to like know and learn and this or that, but when you're actually surrounded and enveloped in the environment and around so many people from around the world that are of like-minded, it becomes
Mhm.
one mind. It's going to be such a powerful uh
Transformative.
oh my gosh, on so many levels, 50 years. So I went to the 20-year anniversary because they've only been in the United States for 20 years. However, they're celebrating 50 years fully as a company. I was there in Vegas last year in June, and I got to meet Mr. Oshiro, and
Yeah.
I ran up behind him. He had no idea Amber was coming. I wrapped my arm around him and I take a selfie. And I'm like, arigato, which means thank you in Japanese. He's like, who is this chick? And I'm like, hey, like I'm taking my chance here. I just busted through the crowd, swooped up and did my thing because I'm
You were
like,
like in his aura, in his energy. Like,
oh, I felt his chi, and I'm gonna be so straight up with you. He is vibrating like that man, and his this is where I really got like where this really shifted for me was when
mhm.
I understood and got to hear from the man who has put this together, who has handed us a legacy, like it's like he's giving us an inheritance that you and I, as solo mamapreneurs, are able to provide a, I mean, I don't even know what the word is to describe the level of like infinite amount of income that can be passed on to our baby girls.
Not just in this life, not
Oh, yeah,
creating the most divine life for them while we're here,
correct.
but when we're gone, we can hand them our empire and our legacy and
Yes.
say, continue, like
And they get
continue
to
to
walk
change the world.
as their mothers, all the while we're doing it. Because for me to be sitting here today with you speaking on this level, it did not start out this way. And that's where my gratitude is so infinitely overflowing because it's a community that we have that have supported and guided us and been there for us. I mean, you've tapped into this business, you tapped out, you tapped back.
Yeah.
I'll have things going on in life that shift us this way or that. And the beauty of it is a magic never goes away. We never lose our rank. We never lose where. And guess what? I just learned the other day.
What?
So I learned that you don't even have to wait until you're in the, we'll call it the legacy income status, and you can still pass the baton of your business. And so you're always in a position to be able to do that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I was like, what? So it's like, just when you think like, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'm learning so much. There's so much to learn. And then there's always something else to add on to it that just, it's out of everything that I could think of that someone could be doing right now with their life, their bodies, their intentions, the way to service their family financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, all the ways. This is it. I would
Ticks
love
all the boxes, it does. I
to,
haven't experienced the,
there is,
yeah, I haven't experienced the financial evolution and growth yet, but the the mental and spiritual growth and evolution that I have experienced, like you said, I stepped away for 10 months last year because I was still learning how to be a single mom, like a full-time single mom. And how you said it never goes away. Like I grew and continued to evolve so much in those 10 months as a woman, as a person, as a mom. And it was all because of the 4 months that I had dove into all of the mindset work, the money mastery, like everything that I dove into continued to compound and grow and evolve to the point where it came actually Valentine's Day when I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I at an insurance job where I'm away from my daughter 11 hours, five? Like, what am
Oh,
I doing? I cried at night. Like, I hated being away from my daughter. And I was like, forget it all. Like, beat
mm,
all of it. And I just quit. And I was like, no, I'm going all in on my own magic business. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to learn. I'm going to grow and evolve. And I went from being terrified to investing $5,000 or $6,000 into an online business to I've now invested over $16,000 into my business. The coaches and mentors that I've invested in, I'm hitting the 20,000 mark. And it's all about mindset and evolution and growth. Like the only way I would have been able to step into that and do that and like book this amazing trip to Japan is because of the growth that I've experienced. Like I am nowhere near who I was in December of 2023. Like I'm a whole new person and it's like on. It's like
yeah.
on.
That's
And I love it. It's all due to the community and the beauty and like just the the message that Mr. Oshura has, like he wants to up level everything, like health, wealth, community, the earth, all of us. Like that's what he wants. He wants to hold and help lift everything on this planet. And it's just I feel it. Like I'm going with it, you know? It's just it's such a beautiful journey and like yeah, I couldn't be more grateful. The way I
word.
show up as a mom, it's just
The word that keeps pounding through that I need to say is the word belief.
yes, yes, in myself, in
Belief.
ourselves.
Belief in what this can do, what it is, what it's doing for others, and
Hmm.
the witness of it, not only with everybody else's journey, but also our own journey, and really like owning that and celebrating it every small, medium, large step of the way is so beautiful. I can attest and totally validate your growth. You can validate mine as well. And that
Absolutely. Yeah.
and we've never even physically met. We haven't even hugged yet. Like
I know. I can't wait.
on like I'm gonna threaten you with a good time, and that's gonna be an Amber hug.
It's okay. I'm right there with you. I'll squeeze it right
Yes.
back, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I am gonna wrap it up. I was
Sure.
hoping for 15, 20 minutes, but you and I, like our energies are just like fire with each other. So I wasn't, I knew it was gonna go over that. But I am so grateful to you and thank you for sharing and thank you for showing up. And I like literally cannot wait to hug you and see you in Japan. Like so amazing. All right.
Yes.
Thank you for everyone. All right. I stopped there, stopped here. Let's see if I'm doing this right.